everybody. Welcome to Season 3 of FCC Supporters Square. I am your host, Matt Warman. Sadly, my co-host did not arrive. You know, things happen. Mark called in sick. He had everything ready. He actually planned this whole event, and then he didn't make it. And Boston is Boston. He's like the cat that I can't control. So. Meanwhile, I brought these animals from the Vanguard. There's nothing better to start off the season with some Vanguard. Vanguardians?
Yes.
Vanguardites?
Yes. We go with Vanguardians.
Vanguardians. So we have Aaron, Alex, and Richie. The four of us, will be discussing the kicking off of the season officially. It is 4 days for our first horse?
6?
Something
Wednesday.
like that. Yeah,
I feel like doing math.
It's the 13th.
I'm doing the countdown.
Yeah,
with the players' numbers, so I'm all over it. Today was day 6, so 6 more days.
So who's 6?
Who was 6?
Obi?
Who was 6 today?
Is that Obi?
I didn't.
No, yesterday
he has to look it up.
Yesterday
He's
I did
so
Kubo.
on it. He has to look it up.
Yesterday was Kubo. Today was Kenny Walker.
Kenny Walker. Okay, there you go.
Sometimes I do throwback players.
Old school.
So I did a quick review of our season endings video a couple of months ago, and at that time we had just signed Denke. He hadn't been over yet. We still had Ian Murphy. We still had Oasium.
We still had Lucho.
There was some. We were talking about that. I thought he was out. Most people were like, well, if he's out, if he's in. So in typical FC Cincinnati fashion, at the start of every season, a couple of days before things happen, we always have the same 24, 25 guys. We never change. We always change half our team like a week before everything goes.
Seems better.
Yeah.
There was clearly what you had said at their season end, Alex. I'm going to let you start this off, and then we'll bring everybody else in. Is that you were thinking that with Acosta that we were easily a top 5 team.
Yeah.
Without Acosta, we were in the mix.
Yep.
Given the signings of Engel and Vander, where do you fit in there? And we'll talk more about those guys.
No, it's completely different from anything I said. You know, not to say that what I said then wasn't true for what was, true at that time. But yeah, the guys we've signed have changed everything. You almost Boston made a comment on the last time I was on where he was going to make a very unpopular argument that there's a chance we're better without Lucho, and that doesn't mean Lucho's a bad player. It just means the way Pat Noonan coaches and the players we brought in and their style of play, there's a chance that we may have put together a more cohesive team without him now. So I mean, I read 2, if not 3 articles somewhere that had us finishing first or second. So I don't think it's just us. I think the moves we made were pretty big, and it's not just us being crazy fans and thinking we're never going to lose again. I think we are legitimately kind of back, never left. Right there,
back like we never left, man.
Yeah,
I have to piggyback on that. I mean, it's weird to say a year ago if we said that we would be better without Lucho. I mean, you'd be like, get out.
You never
get out of here.
Yeah,
get out of here. Who are you? You're not a fan.
It's unthinkable.
But we've, honestly, there's no doubt about it. The numbers speak for itself. I think we're better with Evander. There's more upside. He's younger. He's hungry. He wants to be here. We've known that he wanted to be in Cincinnati. That says a lot. I mean, that's pride for me that somebody wants to be in Cincinnati. You know what I mean?
I feel like Lucho, too, kind of got to the point where he was, he felt like he had to do things. It was everything. Every time a game came down to it, he had to do something. And it got to the point where he was just always driving, too much, just always going. And I feel like it took away from some of our other players that were just contributing just as much.
He kind of had to be a ball hog.
Yeah.
So what I had said, and my fear was that we were going to turn into Nashville, which was we have the defense that is probably the best in the league, and we got this brand new $15 million guy, but who's going to feed him? If Lucho is gone, without Lucho, we weren't feeding anybody. We were struggling to score, and even when he was in there, we were struggling to score. That was kind of our problem. Getting the striker is good help, but if you don't give him the ball, I mean, as good as Denke is everything I've read about Evander, and particularly, and nobody's talking about his Engel. My goodness, we have gone from I don't know where this offense is going to come from, who we're going to feed the ball to. Vander is not as good with his feet as Acosta. You're not going to find anybody better in this league, including Messi, that is good with their feet at this time. I'm not saying that that Messi was better in his prime,
in
obviously.
2025,
But Vander is supposed to be, if not the best, the second best free kick taker. And how many times have we screwed up free kicks? I mean, we've scored a few, obviously.
Yeah, got us kicked out of the playoffs.
But if we got somebody where they're genuinely frightened of that with a free kick, that's
he's Brazilian. It's kind of in his blood.
That's what I'm hoping for. Somebody
He's a
to
killer.
swerve. You guys, everybody's going to be, and the Bailey's just going to be so excited when we do get free kicks. But Angle coming from Middlesbrough, and that's going to free up Buka. It's going to free up Obi. Obi doesn't have to play just defense. He actually can make some passing, which he's capable of. And Buka now doesn't have to be concerned about playing defense when Lucha wanders off. So that's my understanding, is that Evander is like Lucha, but a little more disciplined.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Looks like his passing percentage is a lot better.
We spent this afternoon. We watched like quite a lot of Evander highlights on YouTube, just trying to get a feel for him. And most of what you said is right there with it. It's like he kind of brings most of the positive things Lucha brought, except not quite up to the ball handling skills, like you said. But minus that drop off, he doesn't also do the dangerous things Lucha seemed to do that turn the ball over so much. And his goals in the highlight reels were impressive. But the thing we were most impressed with was his delivery and his passing. And so I'm really hoping we don't see a drop off at all.
Much more body too.
Yeah, for
He's
sure.
And he's
body.
taller.
Really well.
Like that was, Lucho used his size to his advantage, but there were times that hurt him too. But no, the highlights were pretty impressive. We've signed plenty of players, and I've run to YouTube to watch the highlight reel and walked away like, okay, we'll see. There was nothing that really was crazy impressive there. But no, this one was, catching up on what Evander's been doing. Like, dude looks like a stud.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, the pundits, and we know how much pundits, they're as good as we are as far as prognosticating and all that, but they're very impressed. They believe that we've gotten a really good deal out of this.
They said we won the trade.
Yeah.
Like I saw two different, like footywhatever.com and whatever ran articles and said that out of that three
Andrew
teams
Wiebe
involved,
too.
yeah, they said Cincinnati won that trade. Yeah. Like they come out of that better
But
than
I think they
anybody
had
else.
the same mindset you had. Cincinnati was in the mix, but with this trade, like, it catapulted ourselves right back into the conversation.
And it's a whole different topic, but just briefly, like it just shows you what the club is dedicated to, because they didn't have to do this. They didn't have to sign Denke, but they signed him, and a lot of clubs would have stopped there. The owner would have, okay, that's big money, stop there, fill in the blanks with B-roll, and get to the season. And I mean, it really shows you, like, if there's any team trying to win a title harder than us, then they can be tied with us for first, because like what I've seen in this offseason, in the middle of all the drama brought by players, that's things the club can't control necessarily. Like, I'm just a bigger fan of Albright after all this, personally.
Before we get a little deeper into our team, I don't know if you guys have been paying attention on what the league has been doing. The landscape for 2025, as far as the contenders, are not the usual suspects.
No.
Columbus has sold their top guys. Look, Nancy's going to get these guys playing, but they're not going to be the juggernaut
They've
that you
got
were
big shoes
expecting.
to fill.
Yeah.
in a
No,
quick
their
way.
window closed. But they
should've
got
got
a
Costa.
title. They got a title out of it. So, if
But you have
you're a
Charlotte
club.
signing Zaha. You have Atlanta signing Almiron and another top player. There's Charlotte, Atlanta. The Revs are
Obviously,
actually trying to do stuff.
Red Bulls came on strong at the end of last year.
Miami picked somebody else up too, didn't they?
Miami's
saw
going to be
somebody was gonna
Miami.
yeah.
Miami's going to do what they're
I
going to do.
feel like they were
They're-
adding somebody else.
All
that
the
was
divas.
gonna be- Yeah.
They're gonna get all the divas. I don't know. The East is the beast last year, and I don't see it changing anytime soon, because we all have to keep, it's competition. Each organization has to try to at least get up to par with everybody else. So, I mean, the East is just going to be a mess.
feel like
It's going to be
Columbus is
crazy.
gonna-
How much does
Let's
that help?
hope.
How much?
I would love that shit.
How,
Let's
what's
hope
your
they tank.
what's your Western Conference power rankings? Like Galaxy going into the season.
I
what,
mean, it's always
Galaxy
LA
are
teams.
one,
They got the money.
LAFC's two. Is Dallas 3 now because of signing Lucha?
Do I give him that much credit? Let's see if he wants
Seattle
to be
3,
there. After
Dallas
a little
is
bit.
Portland they picked
How
up
much
that
of a-
dude too.
I know.
Portland's
So-
always in the
Portland
mix.
signed De
Seattle's
La
always in the
Costa,
mix.
so
But I'm
are
saying
they in there?
how much does that weighed by? We're so skewed on our opinion of Acosta, but
Because we don't watch the West Coast.
how much
yeah.
how much of a
Oh,
splash
they're going to
is
go
that?
up. Now, how far up? I mean, think about this team without Lucio Acosta. When he
He's
showed
a
up
game
here,
changer.
I hear you.
We went a
And-
month and a
and-
half last season there with him being hurt, and I didn't think we played bad. We
No.
we were
We crushed
tying-
we
Win.
crushed Miami 6-0. It's so
Fair.
it-
Yeah, that was a great game. Oh man.
you know, it
Oh,
really,
yeah,
I
that was
think
great.
it depends on how we do and how Dallas does. Depends on the mindset of the people that we got.
Yeah.
Evander's excited to be here,
Yes.
but he asked for a trade. Acosta is probably excited to be in Dallas, but he asked for a trade. Is he going to be unhappy 3 weeks into the season when he has
Probably.
nobody to pass?
Probably.
Is
Yeah.
Evander going to be unhappy when he doesn't get his favorite
Vander got the
Portland
better
dish?
deal on that one too.
That's my question is who's Acosta going to Dallas to have?
Ferreira.
Evander's coming here and he's got
He's still
Orejano and he's got Kubo and he's got
Even Buka,
I mean,
Oba to Obi,
just
you know,
all the guys
Yeah.
that we have on just stacked behind him. He's got the best defense in the league right behind him. Like
My
think he
opinion
wins.
of Acosta, and we'll just have a quick opinion of Acosta, is that he wanted Moreno. He lost Moreno. He wanted Assad. He lost Assad. We were trying to build kind of like Miami was the star and his buddies, and he got mad when his buddies weren't there because they weren't quite fitting the system. They did well enough, but now I feel like with an Evander and a Denke and an Engel, and that frees up Buka. That means Kubo, who wants more money, and I think he deserves it, but he's coming off the bench now.
yeah,
He's got to come off the bench because now we've got so many people plugged in that are bona fide starters. We have so many reserves now. I mean, we can now play, the League's Cup with a second team and still kick people's butt.
our number 3 scorer is coming off the bench. That's
saying something.
that's not a bad way to be.
That's how much we've improved. Not having Acosta and having the Acosta bubble, I think that's the same problem that they have in Miami. Once Messi leaves, then his friends leave. Now they've got to fill 6-7 holes.
Yeah.
Who are you going to get? I don't know. Maybe they get somebody, maybe they don't. But we have gone from a star-centric lineup, MVP, and we love him, and he, we talked about the goals that he scored and all of that, to a team. If we can gel, and this is the same thing I said last year and probably the year before and probably the year before, was the February games are going to be terrible.
Mm-hmm.
The March games are going to be okay.
Better, yeah.
The April games are going to be when things start to click, and in May, just don't play us. That's the way it was last year.
Yeah.
It felt like
Until
that, and then
Acosta got
it just
hurt.
yeah, it
I feel like
completely
it's been
fell
that way.
apart.
I feel like it's been that way more of our seasons. I mean, this is our 10th year. I feel like that's been a good majority of our seasons have kind of
Sure.
played out like that because we have these turbulent off seasons.
Minus those 3 we don't talk about.
Yeah. We just had a few not bumpy ones there, but
Yeah, not fun ones.
yeah.
It's not like we've had to change coach 3 days before
Yeah.
the season starts.
Yeah,
So I think we're going to be a better team, and that translates into, I think, better details. Can we win the treble? I can't even tell you. I can't even tell you where we're going to finish because other teams are going to be good. I know our defense is going to be good, but until I see it,
we
Right.
gel.
Yeah.
Ugh. I think
We've
we're-
had so many. We've talked about this before, especially with the strikers coming in. We've had so many guys come in, and there's so much excitement, and they've got a proven record, and they played in this league against this guy, and look at the film, and it's there, and then they don't pan out. So
goose egg.
we've got a bunch of new guys. The odds that all of them work out perfectly aren't as good as they look. I mean, it's not going to happen. We're going to have this guy's better than we thought. This guy's not
Yeah,
clicking.
Cincinnati's not that lucky.
No, we're not.
People
so
seem like
we'll
they're already
see.
starting to come together, though. I
Good
mean,
thing.
yeah.
It's a good sign.
Yeah, they might have got some of the
Denke looks like
toxic
he's
environment out of the locker room. Some of that toxic environment. Oh,
So let's ask the quintessential question everybody is tuning in on this podcast for is, are you going to boo, be respectful, quiet when Acosta shows up with FC Dallas?
You gave me the
That
option to
is
be
tough.
quiet. I think I'm
That
just going to
is
be
tough.
quiet.
That is
He's done
tough.
so much for this club. The best. I mean, let's be honest. He's the best to ever do it in this uniform. I can't disrespect him in that sense.
I'm game.
How everything went down, it sucks, but I couldn't boo him.
I'm game for the same rules we used for people that were obsessed with seeing Messi or Zlatan when he was here, but they're still an opponent. Or when we had players come back, like when Vasquez came back, people implemented the rule that like pregame, applaud, cheer, we love you, and then once the game kicks off, then you're booing, they're the opponent, whatever, and then when the game's over, you're back to that. You give it that separation, and that's the respect right there. But that you're still saying like, hey, this is a game. You don't play for us anymore. We're gonna boo you when we're on the field.
Yeah.
When
I'm kind of adopting that.
When his name is announced at
that.
Tico Stadium, are you going to say sucks?
Yes, you have to. He plays for the other team.
He's still got to feel it. He's still got to feel our anger and pain. You know?
Yeah, like I just
he's got to let him know.
I will say that people are like, well, this is just like the Frankie situation. It's not the
quite.
same.
Frankie was
Not
not on the
quite.
same level.
I
You
think
cannot compare those
there's some
two.
extenuating circumstances off the field, and it turns out there may have been some circumstances with the front office that he has, but he never said anything bad about the fans
he still gave
or
us
anything
a
like
bye.
that. And he said he gave a proper thank you. Was that today or yesterday? And so I don't see this as a Frankie situation.
Not even close.
No.
You treat him like an opponent, but
It could have ended up there.
I'm not as happy.
It
with
started
him.
dirty. But
I'm not that happy. With
But you weren't here with the Frankie thing. So
You're
I
right.
get,
No,
you
and
can't compare.
I was actually getting ready to reference it. It's not as extreme, just from what I know, but I don't know. I mean, if he would have went somewhere other than the MLS, I wouldn't be as upset about it. The way he talked and how he wanted to go home and this and that, he pushed himself into a corner where he had to be gone, I think. But I don't know, I'm just not as happy with him. Like, I appreciate when he was here, but guess what? He's not here anymore.
well,
Yeah, I wasn't sure
fortunately they
against us.
changed the rules because MLS realized that people like Lucha Costa needs to find another team. It used to be, well, if we sell him to Europe or he wants to go to Argentina. Well, Argentina, all of those teams that he wanted to go to already have guys younger, faster, and as good, if not
less.
better.
Yeah.
And he's not going to get his money. But the MLS changed it so we could do this, so we could get a Vander. Otherwise, a Vander goes, right? So we lose a Vander. MLS loses a Vander and Lucho.
Mm-hmm.
Now we have to place him with young guys or old guys,
That nobody knows.
and
They
it's a
lost
net
Kiko
loss
already,
for.
too, so yeah.
Good point.
So
Yeah, that's a good.
yeah,
Point.
that is.
so
Now, I get it, but at the same time, just the things that he was saying while he was here, Orellano, I personally believe that he extended his contract because he was with Lucho. They seemed like they were really just like meshing together, and out of nowhere, he's like, "Oh, I think I'm done." Like, you said you were, 3 months ago, you're on your way to becoming a U.S. citizen and playing for the U.S. team, like
Yeah.
the national team. So, like, I personally am a little more salty about it. So it is what it is. He's not with us. He's against us.
The whole thing's just odd.
Very.
Like, I'll look back on it and just the first thing I'll think of is just what I was thinking when I first heard basically the post-game press conference where it all kind of started. And I'll just remember thinking, like, that was so unnecessary.
We thought it was untrue at first.
Yeah,
It
like,
was
I was like, it was
what?
just so unnecessary. Like, why did all that happen?
Yeah.
Like, how did it end like that? But that's the way
It was
goes,
his frustration coming out for sure.
Yes.
But it hurt us fans even more because we just watched our team that's better than New York lose, and with everybody else losing, that if it wasn't last year, it would have been 2 years ago. But that last year was our time to win everything.
Yeah.
I think it just hurt us more to hear those from Acosta,
So
who's are supposed to be. I mean, we all thought he was going to retire here. We're going to build a statue for him. You
When
know,
he
like,
came back after
he's
he
a
was
legend.
hurt,
You know,
I feel like he just didn't care. I felt like he came in. It was very just half. Just I'm here. I'm getting paid. I'm playing.
Yeah.
you run through the motions kind of thing.
Yeah, it didn't feel like he was when he was taking shots or he get in the middle. He get like really frustrated if he was missing things. Like he'd stand and throw his hands up.
Yeah, he was. It was frustration and it's self frustration. Honestly.
yeah, and
He
I'm
was-
sure.
he was mad at himself.
It just seemed like he was out. He had one foot out the door after he came back.
But that's what he was known
Yeah.
for. But he was known for that in DC. Is
Yeah.
that good Lucho was amazing, but bad
Yeah, top
Lucho.
notch.
And when he was playing with what he thought were some inferior players on his team, he'd make a pass and they wouldn't score. He'd get mad and then he'd stop passing.
Yeah,
and
he
then,
would.
so we're seeing some of that. That's what
that's
happens
what it felt,
when
yeah.
Memories. Memories.
I still,
It reminds me of so many Lucho times when he
Right.
would pass the ball to, like you said, a younger player, and then just go and get mad at him for not doing for not reading his mind and doing the absolute most perfect thing they could possibly do.
Yeah.
He'd get
See,
furious
that's why I
with
like Evander too. Seeing some of the passes and just the way he sets up, I felt like sometimes Lucho would come in, he'd just pass the ball to somebody 3 foot away from him. He just like kicked the ball off. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like
Trying
I
to
get
give
that
and
you're
go
trying
kind
to
of thing, yeah.
to share the ball, but like, dude, that was miserable.
Yeah.
We were watching, like he was saying today, we were watching Evander. It was beautiful the way he was watching, just his awareness.
Yeah,
I
and
can't
at that,
wait to see. I
and to
can't wait to
be
see.
and to have that kind of awareness at that age, that's the thing I kept thinking about too. Was just how young he is. That he's at that level at that age.
And we have a
But-
striker this year, unlike last year, that can make a run, can actually wait, find that space, and move to that space. And now we have, if we have the 10 that can make that pass, he's going to make the pass to space. Denke's going to cut into space. And I can tell you, I was just talking about not his film. I've just seen like maybe 30 seconds, 45 seconds of him in practice and his shots, the wide, the sharp angle shots, the way he was just putting things in. I'm like, oh, you give this guy the ball within 18, that's going to be in the back of the net.
And you see too, like Obi last year, I feel like he was one of the most just untalked about players that did the most work on our
He
team.
never gets enough
It was
credit at
unreal
all.
just
Luka
watching
and
him
Obi.
sometimes.
Luka
Yeah,
too.
like those
Yeah.
two guys now, I feel like you're saying with Evander and just being able to just. I feel like we're gonna have so much more openings and some more opportunities that are just gonna present
And
themselves.
Obi was talked about leaving at the beginning of the offseason.
Was he
At
really?
least, yeah,
I missed
it
that.
was scary. They were saying we weren't sure we were going to sign him, something
Oh,
like that.
yeah.
Along those lines.
Well,
I'm so glad they
I
kept.
felt like he was a
He
staple.
wasn't sure we could
Yeah, I
keep
agree.
him. That's what I think he was told. Was we wanted
it was a
him,
money
but we
thing.
didn't have the space for him.
He
think
is
they've
yeah, I'm
worked
glad
that
he
all
stayed
out.
though.
So, given what the league has done, what we've done, I know it's we haven't seen 1 minute of them. At least I haven't watched any streaming of practice
Neither.
preseason, and that really doesn't matter anyway. So, not seeing some of these new players other than film and what we've seen. It's purely smoke at this point. But where do you see FC Cincinnati finishing? Generally speaking, I'm not going to hold you to a place.
I mean, it's like you said, it's almost impossible. It's just a complete guess because we have no idea if these guys all work out. None of them work out. If the team falls apart, if there's injury, I mean, anything can happen. I would say that based on what we know about our defense, goalkeeping, and the midfield that we still retain, I would say that based on that alone, that's still a middle of the East finish. That's still a 5th place finish, just with what we know out of that. So everything else we can get out of the new signings escalates us from there. So, I'm thinking we are going to be top 5, and then if these guys pan out and they're superstars, we are right there at the top fighting for the cup. But it's just too hard to know. Like, they've got to click. But if they click and they look like they do, I don't know who beats us. I don't know who had a better offseason. I mean, it's Miami, Messi Magic. I don't know who.
I feel like they only picked up like one key player. Outside of that, they've not changed.
They're just getting older.
Yeah,
They're
and that's
like,
exactly
38,
it. Like,
39.
Right?
we know we can beat them too.
Yeah, we've already shown that one.
Yeah.
Messy list, but
But, yeah, I mean,
It's okay.
Even when they had Messi, we
2 to
tied
1.
them.
2 to 1. And it was
Yeah,
a lucky.
barely.
Yeah, they got lucky on that second goal.
Did we have Lucha that game?
We did.
Yeah, we do.
I was there when they beat them in Miami, so I know they can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they ended up 2 seasons ago now.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what Columbus falls off. Like they're just not gonna. I don't think they're gonna be in the picture this year.
So
I
let's
think
just
they're
say,
top
what are
6
your
best case.
top
Good.
teams in the East? Who do you see as the top teams? I'll go first, so you
Yeah.
guys get some thought time on this. I think Atlanta has spent a lot of money on some offense. I still think they still have Kuzan. I'm not sold on him as I think he's past his prime. I don't know where their
very
defense
much
is, but they've always been a team that likes to score goals and not defend so much. But I think they're going to be there, beating Miami, and they need to do something to keep their fan base engaged.
It's a lot of seats.
After winning the cup, that seems like was 5 years ago since they won it.
2019?
Yeah. 6
years.
Six. It's been a long time. I see Charlotte with really making strides. I think they're going to be there.
Yeah, with their goalie and their defense. I mean, like they're kind of like us. They just needed that.
Philadelphia
offensive.
is trying to make. They've made some moves, but the Revolution seems like they've made some moves. How good they are! Chicago Fire's been throwing. So it's
When
like
was the last time the Fire weren't garbage?
I'm not calling this year that they're not going to be garbage.
2017 when we played them?
It's Chicago.
Were they good then?
Yeah, they were first place when we beat them in the Cup
That's
game.
still like
Really?
how long
Yes.
ago is that? It's 2017.
2017.
Come on now,
It's a
let's
couple
go.
days.
A couple days.
Couple of days, yeah.
Not long ago.
So I see some top teams. I see Columbus. I mean, they have the coach. They have some young players, but they've sold off a lot of their top talent. I see them dropping off. I see FC Cincinnati in one of those, as you said, middle of the pack. If things go to plan as it looks like on paper, we're Shield contenders for sure. But who knows? I mean, Orlando's put some time. So
Orlando's always tough.
this
Always
is
plays
this
really
is a tough
well.
division. So I mean, we've improved, and that's what I like. The American football Bengal fans go, oh, look, we got this one guy. And they're like, yeah, but did you see the other teams in your division get like 3-4 guys? Like, yeah, but we got the one guy we needed. Like, yeah, but they got the 3 guys that they upgraded. So, when you focus on just your team, you don't look league-wide. So I think it's going to be a very competitive East. And I think the
East
Cup
Coast
winner
is
comes
gonna
out of the
dominate
East.
East is the beast, like I said earlier. Yeah, I think Miami's going to be there again. They're getting older. They'll be there regardless. It's just
Messi's
based
got a
off
couple more
talent.
years.
I mean, you
Yeah.
can't deny it. Charlotte, again, their defense, but they got offensive.
They got Zaha.
Yeah,
so
there you go. They're already in there. Nashville's falling off. Columbus, I agree, is falling off. I don't have any trust in Chicago at all. Just
agree.
they're kind of like in the Cincy situation. It's just Chicago, you can't expect too much from their teams. New York, I mean, they're both of them are always tough. I don't see DC doing anything, but obviously Cincinnati's definitely in the mix for sure. I think we'll be up there when it's all said and done. I think we'll gel. I think we got a good young coach, just like Columbus, if not better. He'll get those guys ready to go in the summer.
So, are we excited for, was it the 19th
Yeah.
for the CONCACAF championship?
Yeah, the 10:30 game? Is it
10 o'clock.
Yeah.
10 o'clock,
10
yeah.
o'clock?
Yeah.
The 10 o'clock game?
It's going to be a late night.
Yeah, hopefully we take care of business. It'll be fun to see. Do we know what channel? Is it on Apple TV?
No, it's
Oh,
on
it's not Apple. It's FS.
the Fubo or something like that.
Oh, Fubo.
Man,
Yeah.
Now we gotta watch
Was I
this.
till Monday or something?
I can't talk about how I'm going to watch it, but
Hard Rock? I thought that was a Hard Rock thing.
We'll have to figure that
on
out.
a Wednesday at 10 o'clock at night.
There's pub
I thought
partners.
Dalton was doing it. Was he
I
not?
think there's 65 pub partners, so maybe they're showing
Yeah.
something. Find your pub partner and watch it at 10 o'clock on a Thursday or whatever it was.
You gonna be there?
And then our home opener is going to be, what is it going to be? Snow? Is it going to be sleet? Is it?
It was snow last
Mid
year.
30s currently
Yeah.
is what they're saying.
One snow game.
Is it? We're going to play with an orange ball? That would be really
That'd
great.
be great.
Wear
That would be
our
awesome.
wear our orange.
Start the season off.
Orange out? Yeah.
Which, by the
Still
way,
orange out.
for people who are listening, you can't see it, but for those who are watching it on YouTube, this is the new kit with the orange stripe, but it has the diamonds like the 2017 kit. It looks
very
really,
subtle.
it looks
I like
really
it.
good. It does have the multicolor blue of that dreadful kit from was that 2019. But this actually
grew
looks
on me.
good. I actually,
I personally like these a lot.
Yeah,
I
I
was
like them.
excited when I saw the leak, but I'm a fan.
and it's kind of like the river kit on the back.
the
Yeah.
back looks
Exactly.
just like the River Kit.
Yeah, so they took like all the kits that we've had since we joined MLS.
Put them together. All the
And put 'em
extras.
together.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're like, we
They
got a
just-
bunch of these
they
in their
just-
stores.
They just
Let's put
sewed
'em
it all together. But as an anniversary kit, I kind of like it. I'm always happy when I see orange and because we are
Yes.
orange and blue, not blue. So I like to see that we have both of those colors, and it's
I was hoping for something close to the full orange, but I'm okay. Like, I enjoy this. I actually, yeah.
I like your
Yeah, I was gonna
sash,
say, like, you gotta go that way.
Mr. Vanguard 2025.
We're already sacked.
Yeah, wait, who did you get?
Or Alano.
Or Shana.
Or Shano.
Or Yano.
Can't take you anywhere.
Did
man.
you say
Take care.
orange yellow?
Or is it oregano? What did you say?
There's too many ways to pronounce his name.
Actually, there's only one. We just
Orange
pronounced it
on
wrong.
It's just fun.
I call him Mr. 73.
Hey,
Oh,
you
yeah.
can't go wrong with that name. Yes.
It was
So,
73 yards, right?
are
72,
you-
73, something like
Even
that.
if we give him
It
a
was
couple
crazy
extra
good.
inches, you know.
Are
that's
you
what-
happy? Because now we've had time to kind of suss that out. But we traded Murphy. We had a surplus. We talked about having a surplus of center backs, but we've now traded Murphy
And-
and Owazium, and now we
Yeah.
have Hadabi. But now we have coming off the bench, Mr. Cincinnati, Hagelin.
Excited to have him back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think Matt Miazga, he looks like genuinely happy to, like, sometimes you don't want injury to anybody, particularly your best defender, and it really sank our season last year. Everybody
Really
would
did.
pretty much agree with
Yeah.
that. But to see him rejuvenated, excited, I think
Like he had
he's
that
gonna-
time off to let himself.
You watch those games and know how many games we could have won when he's there. It's-
100%.
When you're a competitor like him, that fuels your fire. He looks like he's ready to go.
Yeah.
Sure. I think he was hungry even when he wasn't injured. Like you said, he
Yeah.
wanted to be out there helping us
100%,
out.
yeah.
Ordering pizzas in the ref room. So.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be good to see him and Hags on the pitch again. You know, you gotta give him a standing O. Either for
So
both
if
of them.
anybody watch tape on Angle, see.
Nope, I haven't watched any angle tape. I'll have to. That's on my to-do list.
And so where does so if Orishano is up front and Angle's a wing back, then where do we put Chirilla? Where do we play? Does he even
He's
play
off
this
the
year?
bench. I would say he's off the
He
bench.
probably doesn't start.
Yeah.
At least
Yeah,
not the first half of
no.
the season. They're gonna. Noonan's watching. I mean, obviously he brought him up to the first team, but he's not going to put him out there.
I'm
in
excited
the first couple
to see
months.
him because he is like such a hard worker and won the Golden Boot for. I know it's the two teams, but still,
Counts or something.
Yeah.
I think it counts for something. MVP of the All-Star game for the two teams. I think he's going to be a special player for us. Maybe he comes in. So what do you have him then? Santos. Does Corey Bear just sit and watch? Does he even see the
I mean,
bench?
find
Might
out.
be FCC
Find
too,
out
to
in
be
practice. Find out in practice. Those
Yeah.
practices are going to be crazy competitive.
Talking about practice?
Yeah, talking about practice. Hey, you got to figure out who's going to start. You got too many guys. Even after
Talking to
we get
Indiana
rid of
guys,
Murphy and Awazium, we still got this much competition.
It's a good
I love
issue
it.
to
Yeah.
have, though, at this point.
No
I mean,
doubt,
we're
yeah.
talking
We got rid
about.
of Acosta, Awazium, and Murphy. Like, list all the players we got rid of, and our lineup is still stacked.
Yeah, Lucho.
Like-
and then we. I mean, come
I
on.
love how they rebuilt it. It's
Yeah,
perfect.
yeah.
Like, I couldn't have done that better in a
I
video
just-
game.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, personally, like, whatever the record for the most wins in the season is, we're gonna get real freaking close to it.
Miami just
truly-
did it
Miami
last
just
year.
did it last year.
Whatever that number is, we're gonna.
Was it
74 points.
points.
I
I was
just-
going to say
I just-
73, but that was close.
We had
I
a
don't know,
chance
what-
to do that. We missed it.
Just the stuff that I saw from Evander and just the guys that I've seen so far, like, if we, like you said, be more team centric versus
Just around Lucho.
a guy.
Yeah.
I just everything that I've seen from these players already, and when Lucho was hurt, just watching those guys play together, and we continuously switched our lineup. Like, we went the entire season until the playoffs, and that was the first time we had a repeating lineup
Very
the
true.
entire
Very
season.
Yeah.
What I always saw as our Achilles heel is R11 or even 12 or 13 were good, but beyond that,
Yeah.
we had nobody. We had all
Yeah.
these backups that we actually got rid of. We talked about it
Sure.
at the end of the season, where we got rid of these young bucks, but now we've got all these. We can, if we score goals from anywhere, if Engel scores goals, Stenke scores goals, Evander scores goals, Buka scores goals, Luka scores goals. Evander comes out for a game, and you put Kubo, or you move Buka up, and Kubo plays in Buka's spot. You don't miss a beat. We
No.
never had that.
No.
Like, if Lucho's sick, hurt, tired, right, and now we also don't have to worry about having Buka play, 90 minutes for 40 games.
Yeah.
We don't have to worry about Evander running on one leg and going, oh, no, we can't take you out. You just got to make it another 10 minutes.
Kubo playing how many different positions in a season?
Yeah.
Like,
He's an asset. It really is.
We have such on paper. Again, it's on paper,
Yeah.
and it's going to take time to gel. So I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, out there in TV land, it's going to take some time. It's going to take. We just got Evander, and this is not like other sports where you just plug them in and you give them a ball like basketball. You know how to dribble and shoot and pass. That's pretty straightforward. And you gotta. It's chemistry with other players, and you need to know where they are with the ball, where they are without the ball, how they defend, what side do they prefer to drift to.
I'm optimistic with that because he's younger. He's 26. All the guys that he's coming into are in that same range. Not that Lucho was crazy different in range, but 6 years is 6 years. It is what it is. And especially in the world we live in now, everything moves as quick as it does. Those guys, I think, are going to. I'm super optimistic. Everything I've seen in this off season, short of the end of the year drama that it was.
I will say
I
this:
think this
the
year's gonna be
front
great.
office did everything that they possibly could.
100%.
We were very disappointed in the summer window. I know they tried. I know that they tried. At least they were telling us what they were trying to do and their targets that they got. But the bottom line is that they failed,
We just
and it
missed
really
it.
hurt us come playoff time. I think they made up for it this window. I think they've done everything that they needed to do. They got rid of the drama. So, save your dramas for the llamas. That's what I always say.
Is that what you always say?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I've heard him twice.
Oh,
Save your drama for your llama. Have you not heard that?
3 times.
Okay.
See,
That's
It
it's
happens.
lucky that way. It's not my OCD. No. The front office is done right by us by spending a lot of money. What, $27 million on 2 players?
No doubt.
Like you said, it means they care. It means they're trying.
Yeah. Yep.
It's showing a lot.
Yeah, because they don't have to do that. The tickets would have still been sold. The
still be
support would
there.
have still been there. I mean, does it drop off eventually if you play that game over year after year after year? Yeah, you'll lose it, but those tickets are sold. They didn't have to go that far.
Oh, I remember the
Still
third
there.
spoon year. I know there was COVID, but there was some times where the march was like 50 people, and that was it's no fun. It's no fun. And to have the opposing SGs show up and start gloating and whatnot, that is the worst. Aaron wouldn't know anything about that.
Not at all. I've never done a march in my life.
You've never got in trouble
like
with other
walking.
SGs. I've never seen you talk anything but kindly to other fans.
I mean, I do. Just,
I don't think I could go to an away match because I think that would be my issue. Like,
It's a lot.
I get why they
it's a
make
lot
us
of
buy
fun.
our tickets to our own
I
team,
didn't
but
search it out, okay? They searched
It's
for me.
actually a lot of fun.
I'm sure it is, but
actually a
I
lot
am
of fun. And most
Play me,
SGs,
antagonistic.
most SGs are
Very cool.
really cool. It's what's fun about this
Like
sport.
St. Louis.
Yeah, we
Like,
had a
we
blast.
had that issue, but then we went to the bar across
Yeah.
the street, and
Yeah.
it was a great time. They were
Yeah.
buying us shots and
They
drinks.
were
and
like,
everything.
"Sorry, we beat you 5-0.
Yeah.
Here's a beer."
Yeah.
They're like,
Blame
yeah,
the
that's
tornadoes.
what you got to do.
man.
Fair.
Blame the tornadoes.
And tornadoes, yes. We were the storm chasers.
Jesus. That
The
was
daily
insane.
storm chasers. That's what we were doing. So yeah, whenever you get a chance, go to the away team. So I think we've had a really good season opener here. I'm excited to see this team. We're going to see them in about 10 days.
Yeah.
Alex, any final words from you?
No, we just kind of had some jumbled up, cluttered conversation there, but it's tough to have a conversation about that off season. Like, I've been a sports fan of, I have 5 or 6 main pro and college teams that I follow that I've been a diehard fan of for years. And I have to say, this has been one of the most messed up off seasons I have ever gone through as a sports fan of any of those teams. So,
Well, you're not a Bengals
years
fan.
and years and years and years and years of off season after off season for all these different sports teams. And I will never forget the 2024-25 off season. I'm so glad it's coming to an end. Can we please just play
It
soccer
was
now?
stressful, right? Yeah.
Let's just actually play soccer and let the goals.
So
tell
what
the
I'm
story.
hearing is you want to save the drama for your llama.
Yeah, save the drama
We didn't
for your llama, because that rhymes and that's pleasing.
didn't even talk about the fact that we signed Barriel for another year.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we extended Barriel.
We got him another year.
He's
and
not
guess-
necessarily
You're
going to
right.
be here.
It's like we're just gonna own him for his whole career
Yeah.
and loan him out. It's
Just
the
loan him
weirdest
out,
thing
yeah.
I've ever heard of.
Yeah, I don't even know if we want to touch on that. Does he want to be here? I don't know. Yeah.
That extends
Okay,
my
let's move
streak.
on.
That extends my streak of mentioning Barrial on every podcast.
Yes,
though.
hey.
There you go.
Yes, streaky.
Richie, any final words?
I'm just happy that you let me come and hang out tonight and talk some soccer. It's been a long 2.5, 3 months, whatever it's been. So
Yeah.
the last 7 years and the last 2 months have been miserable. So I'm ready for soccer.
Aaron, any final thoughts?
Yeah, I'm just gonna piggyback on that. It's good to see you guys. Obviously, I haven't necessarily been here, but it's good to see you get that excitement back in my life. Yeah, podcast days are like game days, so I'm excited. I'm pumped up. So appreciate you. I'm excited for the actual soccer.
Yeah, I think as the season goes on, we're definitely going to have a lot more to talk about here on FCC Supporters Square. I don't follow GAM, TAM, JAM, LAM, whatever. I can't get into the accounting. I mean, if you're an accountant and you dig it, that's super cool. I just want to see what the players are, and on paper, I think we've gotten ourselves probably the best team we've ever had.
I don't disagree, and it's crazy to think you're going to lose a player like Lucho and then come out and say that and go, yeah, I agree. But we just picked up so much depth that I think
I feel like we're better right now.
This has the potential to be our
month
best
ago.
team in the 10th year.
And that piggybacks on you. It's that I was listening to what we said 2 months ago, and we've traded arguably our best player, and the Orishano ordeal, and the Obi ordeal, and the Barriel ordeal, and the Costa. It's like all. I'm just saying, just in the last 2 months, we've had all of this drama, and now it's let's go play some soccer. Now we've got people. These are the people who are going to be here, so let's do this.
Am I the only one that was super patient with everything up until players didn't report to camp, and then I was like, okay, that's enough. Like Kubo didn't show up. Orishano didn't show up.
Like, what is going on?
Yeah, when Kubo didn't show up, everybody's like, what is
apart.
going on?
I was scared.
Yeah, that one was
Honestly.
crazy.
So that's it, is how it started and how it ended.
Yep.
I mean, all you heard was people not reporting, people not happy, people wanting money, people were doing this and doing that, and then suddenly you look at the players that are there, and everybody's like, yeah, we're ready to go, this is it, this is the team. You're like, oh, we had all that drama and all that angst for nothing. I said, on paper, this team looks good.
Yeah.
If they can actually perform, and I think you guys here are, as you know, a major driver of how they play, at least at home.
We'll be there regardless of who's on the pitch.
Right. It's
When we lose, it's because we didn't yell loud enough, and we take
100%.
full responsibility for that.
100%.
Full responsibility.
that's what Evander told me the other day.
Right.
Did he?
Yeah,
It's
he
all our
called
fault.
me. Yeah, like I know anybody on this team. Yeah, no, I can't pull that
We'll
one
let him
off.
know who the
Doubted
best
you.
fans are when he
I
gets
know,
here.
I couldn't pull that one
We
off.
just have to yell louder, everybody.
So I think it's going to be an exciting season, ladies and gentlemen. I think it's going to be an exciting season for us. When I get my actual co-hosts of Mark, when he gets healthy, and Boston when he gets
What's up, Boston?
when he gets back in town, and we go in full force. And you two out there at podcast land, we are looking to talk to you. We talked to Richie, we've talked to Alex.
Yeah, they're tired of talking to me. They talk to me too much. I'm tired of talking to everybody.
We like to talk to. We like to talk to everybody. So if you are a fan out there, new fan, old fan, we don't bite. Come up and talk to us. It's fcc.supp.square@gmail.com. I guess I should have picked an easier email address, but
Right.
it is what it is.
CompuServe.net.
You've got mail.
What's your MySpace?
Yeah, MySpace. I'm the guy wearing the white T-shirt. Tom.
You're Tom.
I'm Tom.
Oh, man.
Well, yes, we're out there, so listen to us on Spotify and watch us on YouTube. But this is going to be a great season, and we'd like to have you involved in this. And we will talk to you next week, probably, on FCC Supporters Square. Have a good night, everybody.
FCC.
Nailed it. We nailed it.
Looks like we made it.
Sweaty balls.
We nailed it.
Did we win?
So no, I think we're going to win. I really do. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.